So I am aglow with vibrant life. How about you? I dressed for it today. I'm telling you. Being with Sue last night was a wonderful experience. I love the colors in her home. I love the words that are printed on all the walls. I love being with her. In this time of darkness, this time of pain, this time of grieving, and it's uncomfortable, but it's normal. It's part of the experience. So as she goes through this spiritual pilgrimage, I am so grateful. She picked up the phone and asked me to come and speak today because Unity of Springfield has a very special place in my heart. First, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a Unity minister. I was raised by Unity ministers. I'm marinated in the principles. If I can't stand in the truth, then what's up with that? I have a radio show on Unity Online Radio called Vibrant Living, Life Coaching with Carla. I was the minister of Unity of Independence for 6 years, and then I went over to Unity Village to manage the retreat program for 4 years, and now I'm at Awaken a Whole Life Center, where I'm a spiritual counselor, a spiritual coach, and a life coach. I am a certified life coach as well as a minister, and it is my delight to be in that historic tower with this vision of a holistic wellness center. If you guys haven't gone online to see what services are offered at Awaken Whole Life Center, check it out. It is just amazing to be in that tower with practitioners of that level of consciousness, from integrative physicians to acupuncturists to massage therapists to cosmologists, to spiritual counselors, to people willing to take you into a spiritual experience designed just for you. A chiropractor that is just totally dedicated to you finding your path to wholeness, a nutritionist. So we've got it all wrapped up at Unity Village. So spread the good news, come visit us. If you come, make sure you let me know you're coming, and I'll be glad to take you on a tour, because Unity Village is a very special place in my heart. It was over 30 years ago that my mother was the interim minister here in the church. So at a time, it was her first adventure out into ministry, and this transitional ministry really spoke to her, and she fell in love with the building, with the people, with the area, with what was happening in this community. So the last year of my mother's life, while I was in ministerial school, I was asked to speak here. So the last road trip Mom and I took was here to Unity of Springfield, and she sat in that front row and glowed. She was aglow with vibrant life. So I'm woven into the fabric of this community. It has a rich memory for me, and I know that the journey that we're on, of all the changes that life brings to us, are possible transformational experiences if we just allow them to be such. My father also was a part of my mother's ministry here, and my brother came down and lived here for a while and did real estate. So this is an area that's rich in memories for me. So right now, life is a little uncomfortable for Sue. Does it mean she has less faith than she did before? No. Does it mean she's less spiritual than what she was going through before? No. It's just she's in a new way of being transformed, cracked open, so that light can come through from new places. You know, change is constant. That's one thing we can count on in life, right? Anybody had life that didn't ever change? Could be what we were focusing our attention on. But life changes and life is unpredictable, and that's okay. In the human experiences, things do change. What we do with change is experienced either as transformation or being stuck, being frustrated, being unfulfilled, being wondering what is going on. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about my story in ministry. When I started at Unity Church of Independence, it was March 31st, and my mother was at the end of her life. And her big goal was she wanted to see me preach Easter Sunday, 2 services. I want to see you preach Easter Sunday. So with less than 10% of her heart functioning, she was there, both services, vibrant, aglow with life. And so around Mother's Day, May 19th that year, she passed on, and we had a covenant together. You know, my mother got real towards the end. We were consciously talking about what death would be like. In May, June issue of Daily Word, I wrote a little article about accepting what is, about my mother's journey with the end of her life and what it meant to truly accept what is and move forward. So my deal with Mom was, she said, well, Carla, I kind of feel like a failure as a minister. And I said, why is that, Mom? And she said, well, I'm afraid to die and I should be excited. You know, I'm going on. I should be excited. And I said, well, what's the fear? And she said, well, the fear isn't of dying. It's of how much is it going to hurt? And I said, oh, Mom, that's so normal. Who doesn't? Who isn't afraid of whether it's going to hurt or not? So here's what I promise you, Mom. I will make sure that you're not in pain. I will be here with you. I'll open the door to the other side. You just drop your body and go on through. And the day she died was a beautiful experience. And what it gave to me was this absolute new understanding of what the ongoingness of life is like, that it isn't necessarily something to be afraid of. Did I want it to happen? No. Did it hurt? Yeah. But there was something beautiful and holy about being present to that soul as it went on, seeing the light and the love of the family all being around. And so it allowed me in my congregation to be more conscious of what I was doing with celebration of life services, with being with people in a hospice, with being able to hold somebody's hand in the darkness and know they were going to the light and saying, it's okay, well done, good and faithful servant, well done. There is nothing to regret. You have lived life well. So 4 months after my mother died, around the time I took the church, I found out my brother had 4th-stage cancer. My brother Mark was like the other part of me. I'm the extrovert. I'm the one with vibrant life, aglow. And he was the deep thinker. He was the intellect. So we said we were whole together, that we could sit in a room and we wouldn't have to say anything. And we felt this very deep interconnection. So around Thanksgiving, I've got the Thanksgiving dinner at the church, and I get a phone call from my sister-in-law, and she said, Mark's dying, and I can't take care of him. I'm going to have to put him into hospice. And I said, don't do anything till I get there. So I got on a plane, I flew there, and I thought, what's going to happen with the church? You know, here it is. We're going into Advent, the holiest time of the year, and I'm gone. And when I got there, I was holding my brother's hand, and for the last 6 hours of his life, I got to be there. I got to be present to him. I got to tell him what he meant to me. I got to be grateful for the experience of us being together. And I got to be totally wiped out. You know, this was another huge loss in my life. So I got on a plane and came back to Independence to begin to prepare for Holy Week. And guess what happened? December 19th, my 27-year-old daughter died. And I went, are you kidding me? Where's the game plan on this? You know, what would happen? But one of the things that did happen through the process that Sue is finding right now in her pilgrimage is there's many blessings that happen along the way. There's many insights we get about the value of life, the preciousness of life on this journey. And Paula had said to me when I got home from Connecticut from being with Mark, she said, Mom, I'm ready to go. See, Paula had spina bifida, and her body was in a lot of pain, and she was suffering, and she said, I've had it. I just want to go on with Uncle Mark and Nanny. And there was a part of me that cried, and she said, I don't want to hurt you. And I said, it's not, I can understand on one level, I understand your journey has been heroic. You have been a hero to so many people. And as your mother, I can't say, you know, it's okay. Just know how much I love you. Know what you've meant for me. And she died the way she wanted to. She died in her sleep. And did that help? No. Did affirmations help? No. Did hearing I was strong enough to go through it help? Nope. Okay, how do I sign up for being weak? You know, I'm going for that one because I don't want to be strong enough to do this. Because I was facing my biggest, darkest fear. How do I say goodbye to my beloved child? It's not normal. It's not natural. So I had to take 6 weeks off from the church, and I had to retreat and withdraw. I had to free fall into the darkness to find the light switch that I knew was there somewhere. Did I still have faith? You betcha. Did I still have principles to stand on? Yes. Did I need to go through the pain and discomfort of grief? Yes. And so when Sue called me and she said, Carla, I've got to take some time off. Will you come? I said, yes, beloved friend, yes. Because she's raw right now. You know, she doesn't know from moment to moment where her emotions are going to be. This is a time of her. What I said to her this morning before I left, I said, I see you cocooned in all that you love as you rediscover who you truly are. Because that's the journey. Who do we know Sue to be? Sue is compassionate, generous, giving. Sue's a doer. You want something done, Sue will get it done. But along the way, Sue has to learn now what I found I had to learn, and that was there are times you need to receive. If I didn't have my spiritual community to love me through that period of my life, I don't know what would have happened. I just know in the darkness, I could feel a hand supporting. I just know that there was somebody who said, we've got your back. Don't worry about the church. We will continue to hold it. When you are ready, we love you, we want you back. We will hold the vision of what we are going to do until you can catch back up with us. And so you catch back up in a more vibrant, authentic, real way when you accept the discomfort that life offers. You know, who wants to grieve? Does anybody really want to sign up for that? Who wants to lose the people they love? Who wants to be in pain? Who wants to experience the uncomfortable parts of life? None of us sign up for that, and yet it is part of the journey, along with the joy, along with the celebration, along with the affirmations that God is and we are and together we can. But it's also accepting that grief is a normal part of living a vibrant life. It's the richness and fullness of everything. It's the abundance found in saying yes to all life gives us without having to understand why. It's that willingness to dance into the mystery of life, knowing somewhere there's a light switch, and guess what? Together we can find it. You know, when I came out of the other side of my grieving, that's where the idea for the radio show came, is living a vibrant life. How do you live a vibrant life and still grieve lives that profoundly affected you, that gave your life a richness and a meaning? Well, that was my journey. How do you do that? And step by step, it is saying, yes, this is dark, this is painful, but what were the teachings Jesus gave us? The darkness will never overcome the light. I am the light. What did Jesus model for us? You know, being willing, no matter what, even if it's on a cross, to do what's asked of us to do. To know that with God, all things become possible. That it's fun to do the impossible. Really? Yes. I guarantee you, it is fun to do the impossible. And that's what Sue's doing right now. She's cocooning herself in a way of understanding what's next. How then will you use me, God? When I could come through the deepest part of my grief, when I had ground to stand on, what I stood upon was a belief that I had that I was going to keep Paula's memory alive, my mother's memory alive, my father's memory alive, the people that I love's memory alive. By doing something every day, they would be proud that I did. And it's amazing what shifting the focus of our attention can do for our experience of life. Now, we can't shift until we're ready, but that's our God-given ability. That's the capacity, the power we have within us, is to be able to shift the focus of our attention to that which is most meaningful and valuable to us in life. And that's what Sue has called us forward into. She has empowered each and every one of us to say, okay, I need to just step back for a minute. I need to be cocooned and nurtured and wrapped up in love while I just heal. Come back to who I truly am, this new understanding, this transformation, a radical new way of being. Transformation means metamorphosis. It means we can't do life the same way. We just can't. When my daughter died, I thought that life can never be the same. Life can never be the same. So that became my catchphrase if I caught myself falling into old patterns. You know, you have so much more capacity when you've experienced that level of pain, that level of discomfort. You realize how quickly we move to judge what another should, ought to, has to do, how we get these funny ways of knowing how things would be, what I call structures of knowing. So our spiritual journey, our journey of spiritual growth and personal growth, our core value of supportive relationships is calling us into a new way of being. Sue is saying, okay, you guys, how do you want to support each other? What's the community going to be like? Even if you don't feel like coming to church on a Sunday or a Wednesday night or for whatever activity, even if you don't know how to show up, are you willing to show up and to be present to the light that dwells in each and every person? Are you willing to see that radiant expression of light? Are you willing to be that hand to hold on to in the darkness? One of the things that I was so grateful for in my experience was about a couple of years after Paula passed on, I saw an article in Contact magazine, you know, the Unity magazine, And it was for a seminar for ministers and spiritual leaders called, "Would it be okay with you if life got easier?" Bingo! Let me sign up for that. How can I make life easier? How can I know the truth that I'm marinated in? That there's one presence, one power, God, the all good. That presence and power dwells in me, that I shape my life experiences with the thoughts I think, where I'm focusing my attention, and that through prayer and meditation I will get a new idea. There is a new thought forming, a thought that's beyond my way of knowing I am right. And through action, I experience a life I only thought was possible, I dreamt was possible. That you move from the ordinary experience of life into the extraordinary experience of life. How do we make that shift? We make that shift by asking ourselves different questions. Instead of asking ourselves, what's my issue here? We ask ourselves, okay, Sue's healing. Who am I willing to be? How will I minister to the spiritual community? Sue has been in this community for over 20 years. I think she told me 25 years. She has been your minister, your chosen minister, for 8.5 years. She's been a radiant, vibrant expression of God in life to each and every one of you. How now will you serve? What's your promise? Because as we make a promise to ourselves and to our community, we form a sacred bond that will carry us through everything. We find that light switch in the darkness and say, let's go. I am aglow. I am here for God. And God expresses as me now in this moment. Heaven, hell, you choose. I know which way I'm going to go. So as we prepare ourselves for asking Holy Spirit to reveal to us what is next for each and every one of us in our life as we serve this community, awakening to a new beginning, awakening to new possibilities, having fun doing the impossible, let us prepare for a time of meditation. Remember, my friends, all we ever have to do is seek first God, ask and trust, and all will be revealed. So let us take that into the silence now. So as we close our eyes and settle into our seat, we know right here, right now, in the love that is vibrating aglow in this community, that we are completely supported, completely supported. We are never alone. We are constantly being sourced with love, with life, with wisdom, with light. So we allow ourselves now to just be in the light. The light of knowing our oneness with God, with ourselves, and with our neighbor. We are one. We have been chosen. All that is required is that we be willing to simply take the next step So as we move into the core of our very being, that part of ourselves that is authentic and true and constant, no matter what the drama of our life is, we listen in that inner chamber. Holy Spirit, what is mine to do to be of service to my spiritual growth and the spiritual growth of this community? What is mine to do? And we listen in the silence. Seeking that guidance, asking for what is next. We trust the light will be revealed on just the next step for us to take. Moving into a new way of expressing life and love and serving. We promise ourselves, as Sue does her pilgrimage, so we do ours. We deepen and we expand and we grow and we love and turn up the light in all the uncertainty of this life. For the opportunity of being united and knowing this all goodness of God, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so we let it be.